Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, distinguished guests, esteemed viewers joining us from across Nigeria and all over the world. I am delighted to welcome you to another powerful edition of Connect with Comfort Show, the platform where ideas come alive, businesses are refined, and leaders are empowered. I am Comfort, Tayo, your regular host with Connect with Comfort Show. On this program, we aim to add value to people on business enterprise and personal growth. Each show is organized to feature special guests who are subject matter experts that usually help to share more insights on the topic of the day. Once again, I welcome all of you. Thank you for joining. Our topic for today is resurrecting your vision. When business feels stuck, what next? Let's be honest, every business, no matter how great, gets to a point where growth slows, energy dips, clarity fades, and results don't match efforts. The question is not if it will happen. The real question is, what do you do when it happens? Today, we explore how to recognize when your business is truly stuck, diagnose the real problem, not just the symptoms, reignite your original vision, and reposition for growth as well as relevance. If you ever felt like your business is no longer moving forward, this conversation is for you. So please do stay with us. Let's start by understanding something critical. A stock business is not always a failing business. Sometimes revenue is coming in, but growth has plateaued. Customers exist, but enthusiasm is gone. The structure is there, but the vision is blurred. And in many cases, what is stuck is not just the business, it is the leader. The leader's clarity, energy, or direction. Here are five signs your business may be stuck. You are busy but not productive. Growth has remained flat for a long time. You feel disconnected from your original passion. Your theme lacks direction or motivation. You are reacting more than you are leading. But there is the good news. Stagnation is not the end. It is often a signal that something needs to be rethought, restructured, or reignited. And that is what we call resurrecting your vision. Now, to help us to unpack this deeply, I'm excited to inform you that our special guest is already with us in the house, waiting patiently for us to beckon on him. This we shall do in a short while after this time out. Please remain connected. We'll be right back. Thank you. You are welcome back. Like I said before the short break, our guest is already in the house. Permit me to say a brief word about our guest before welcoming him. Our guest is no other than Boluwatife David. He is the mind behind high performance and unstoppable focus. Hence, is fondly called Mr. Focus. Today, we bring you a transformational leader who embodies the power of focus, performance, and business excellence. Oluwatife David is an exceptional management consultant, high performance coach, trainer, and business leader with a proven track record of helping individuals and businesses scale new heights. As the CEO of High Performance Consulting, he has worked with top organizations and entrepreneurs, empowering them with strategies to maximize efficiency, improve leadership, and drive exponential growth. He is also the author of the renowned book Focus, a game-changing guide on achieving clarity, discipline, and extraordinary results in life and business. Like I said earlier, he's fondly known as Mr. Focus. He is passionate about helping people break limitations, stay on track, and unlock their highest potential. Our special guest for today is highly sought after coach, known for key achievements and for his expertise with years of experience helping businesses navigating uncertainty, scale sustainably, and rediscover purpose. Oluwatife brings both insight and practical wisdom to this conversation this afternoon. We are honored to have you join us again. I say again because Oluwatife is not new to this show. He's one of our regular. He has been on Connect with Comfort show before and he has done us proud. And today will not be an exception, I'm sure. So please join me in making welcome our special guest for today, Mr. Oluwatife David. Oluwatife, you are welcome.
Thank you very much
for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
and happy Sunday.
So let's go straight to the cross of the matter. Let's start here. When a business owner says, my business feels stuck, what does that typically mean from your own experience?
Okay, thank you very much for that question, and I think it's a very good place to start because right now, those that are joining us from every part of the world would actually be able to identify when they get into the bucket. Like you said in the introduction, um, every business at one point or the other will experience, some form of plateau along their journey, right? And it is important for us to know it because without diagnosis, there is no prescription that can be possible. So when we say that a business is stuck, a couple of things can be happening. Number one, it can be that the business no longer knows exactly where they're going. So that means that vision is gone, right? It's almost like I'm driving to a particular place, then for some reason, I don't know where I'm going again. I then feel stuck, right? It's almost like you're moving in cycles and you're circles and you're moving in circles. So that the first indication that a business is stuck is that every when you sit with a business owner and you ask the question, where exactly are we going, the business owner is unable to give you a clear-cut answer as to where they're going. The second indicator that a business is stuck is that they know where they are going, but they don't know how to get there. I have sat down with a lot of business owners before now. They will paint a picture of a desired future for you. They will tell you exactly where they see their business getting to in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. But if you ask them the question, how exactly do you want to get to this place that you want to go to? They are confused and they are just trying and they are just living every day by trial and error. So it's almost like saying that the labor would weary them because they do not know how to enter into the vision that they have for themselves. The third indicator that a business is stuck is that even though we know where we're going, we know how to get there, we don't seem to have the resources that is required for us to get there. So, because we don't have the resources required, even though we have some level of clarity, it leads to frustration, it leads to overwhelm. And in that situation, you begin to hear business leaders say, if only I have this, if only I have that, I'll be able to move this business to the next level. They cannot move it because they don't have the resources to get it. Now, the fourth indicator that a business is stuck is that even though we know where we're going, we know how to get there, we have the resources that we require, that is required, but the missing link is that we have dissipated all of our energy. Everybody is discouraged. Maybe we have done a couple of things and we have experienced certain level of failure, and because of that level of failure, energy is drained from everybody. It's sometimes it's that situation where, when a business starts initially, there is that initial gra, so to speak. There is that initial hustling spirit, energy is high and all of those things. But you have gotten to the point where you're supposed to transition from using hustling energy to driving your business with system and with structure, right? But because you've not been able to transition to a system and a structure that can help you scale your business, you just discover that it seems as though you have not been able to cross a particular threshold of result. Maybe you have only been making 20 million in your business and you've not been able to move it from 20 to 50. You've not been able to move from 50 to 100. So year in, year out, you are moving your figures marginally. In some situations, you drop by maybe 1 or 2 million. In another situation, you grow by 1 or 2 million. But you just notice that by the time you do your month-on-month report analysis, or you do your year-on-year, it's almost as though you are always revolving around the same business realities. So these are situations that when we see, we are saying that definitely this business is stuck and they need to begin to rethink everything that they do, either from the point of strategy, from the point of vision, or from the point of resources management and allocation. I think your audio is muted, ma'am. I can't
It's
hear you.
already addressing so many questions rolled into one. I appreciate that. So, what are the most common reasons businesses become stagnant?
Okay, so on the surface, I'm going to give us the surface, but I'm going to break it further down. Right on the surface.
Boluwatife, if you can hear me, can you increase the volume a bit
Okay,
so that
can you hear me now? Is it better
increase
now?
the volume, like be more audible?
Okay, is it better now?
Yes, it's slightly better, but it can be better.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, let me try and see what I can do here. 1 minute. Okay, I think, is it better now, ma?
Yes, it's better.
Okay, so I said that to answer that question, I am going to start from the top and I'm going to come down like the umbrella. Now, um, the question here is, what are the common reasons that makes a business to be stuck? Right now, when we look at it, I said earlier that number one is that the vision became blurred. Number two is that there is no clear strategy. Number three is that we lack resources to be able to deliver the kind of result we're looking for. But beyond all of this, I am going to go into the operational management of a business, because these three things that I gave us, they are the top layered reason why business gets stuck. But underneath vision, strategy, and resources, there are other operational indicators that can actually get a business to be stuck. The number one thing is financial management and cash flow issues. When a business does not have the right financial capacity to drive the business is definitely going to be stuck. Um, and when we talk about financial management or financial mismanagement and cash flow issues, there are a number of indicators that we look for. The first one is poor management of liquidity. Now, there is no way a business can grow, there is no way a business can scale without liquidity. Liquidity simply means how much of money do we have that we can do business with. Now, a business can be very profitable. That means that the margin of profit per transaction is so high, but profitability does not equal liquidity. I've seen a lot of businesses that are very profitable that are struggling because the business owners do not pay attention to proper management of liquidity. Liquidity helps us to be able to pursue our vision. Liquidity helps us to be able to execute around our strategies. Without liquidity, ideas or strategies remain as idea. Without liquidity, vision becomes abstract. So, for example, if I create a new product in my business today and I want to take it into a new market, Even though I have the products right now, I won't be able to take it into the new market if I don't have enough liquidity to manage my campaigns, to manage my marketing, to manage everything that I need to manage. So the first indicator or the first reason why business becomes stuck under financial management is poor liquidity management. Poor liquidity management, right? And the truth of the matter is that over 80% of businesses fail today because of poor cash flow management. They don't have liquidity, right? You see a lot of business owners, they don't even know how much money is passing through their business account. They don't even know how much of the business money they as a business owner has consumed, and because of that, they are unable to do anything in their business and they become stuck. Right. So that is the first thing. Another point under poor financial management is wrong pricing. When you don't price your commodities very well, especially in the Nigerian climate of today, where prices are jumping every day, the reality of the market is jumping every day. You buy, for example, if you're into buying and selling, you buy at a price yesterday, and then because you did not envisage, inflation and all of those things, right? You sell based on how much you purchased today, but by the time you are going to the market tomorrow, the price has gone up. The money you now have can no longer buy the stock that you need. What happens is that your business will become stuck. So that's the first thing, or the two things under what? Financial mismanagement and cash flow issues. The second major indicator of reason why business gets stuck is operational and structural bottleneck. Operational and structural bottleneck. The first thing is when the business is funder dependent. The business cannot run outside of the founder of the business. The moment the founder steps aside, everything comes down crashing, right? That is to let you know that the business is built only around the business owner, and without him or her, the business cannot go forward. In that sense, the business will become stuck because every process is in the head of the business owner. Nobody else in that business can take it and say, let us run with this. Now, another operational bottleneck or structural bottleneck is when the business is not retaining customers. I've seen situations where businesses are losing customers faster than they are gaining customers. There is no way such a business will not be stuck. The job of every business is to bring in customers and to ensure that they secure the bag by ensuring that they don't lose customers, right? So another thing that can cause business being stuck is that they are losing customers and they are not gaining enough to keep the business alive, right? Another one is lack of system. So, for example, we don't have a clear-cut system of how we treat our customers. We don't have a clear-cut policy on how this should be managed. So every time, it's almost like every time we are faced with a problem, we have to reinvent the wheel. This wastes a lot of time, wastes a lot of resources, and keeps businesses under. Now, if a business is going to be able to scale, then they need to solve their operational and structural bottleneck. Another thing that causes a business to become stuck is lack of strategy or market challenges, right? When businesses don't even have a good understanding of the market in which they are playing, they are going to become stuck. For example, a lot of businesses do not even have a strategy that will make them win in the business they are currently operating in. If you sit down with them, they are winging it. They have 1 month plan, but they don't have 1 year plan. Some they have 1 year plan, but they don't have 5 year plan. Some have 5 year plan, but they don't have 10 years plan. So because they don't have a clear understanding of how they want to dominate in that market, they are going to become stuck. Another reason why businesses become stuck is when they fail to adapt and innovate, depending on the changes that is happening within the market within which they are operating. Another reason, and the final one, why business gets stuck is when the market becomes saturated and the business owner is unable to identify it. So, I've given quite a number now, but to do a quick run, number one major area is financial mismanagement. Number two major area is structural and operational bottleneck. Number three major area what business gets stuck is lack of strategy and lack of strategy for combating market challenge. And the final major reason why business stuck, number four, is lack of leadership or lack of talent to actually move the business forward as much as they should be moving. I know that there are a lot of other questions, so I guess I'm just going to stop at this point, right, so that we can move into some other things on the subject.
You really have done so much. In fact, you packed so much points there that satisfy even the whole topic. So you've told us about the various reasons why
Mm.
business gets stuck. Now, let's take all those points on board. And if you want to actually help the business owners, how can they refocus or realign back to their original vision? Because with all these hints that you have given, the next thing is, okay, this has happened because of this, because of that, because of that. Now, if I want to realign back to my original purpose, reconnect back, how do I start? Or how do I begin?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. There is a business quote that I love a lot. I say it everywhere, right? It's a quote by Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker puts it this way. It says, "What you don't measure, you cannot manage," right? And I like to add a second part to it of my own. I say, "What you don't manage, you can't grow." What that means is that for us to grow a thing, we have to manage it. And for us to be able to manage a thing, we have to measure it. I think the biggest challenge that every business that wants to really grow and wants to move and resurrect their vision would be to start by measurement. What do I mean by measurement? Um, if you don't know why you are stuck in the first place, right, there is nothing that we can do to help you become unstuck. And that is why every time we sit with business owners, and that is why every time we sit with business owners, the first thing that we really want to do is to conduct a diagnosis, right? Diagnosis is to help us identify exactly what the problem is. Remember earlier, man, I was talking, I said, if you do your month on month analysis, you do your year on year analysis, a lot of business don't even do these things. They don't even have the right record that can help them track to identify where the problem is, right? So the first real solution is to conduct an audit of the business to say, why are we stuck? Now, if number one, the problem is leadership, then the leadership will need to reignite their own vision. Nobody can ignite vision for a business leader. A business leader would have to reignite his vision by himself. In some cases, they need to take some time off to go on a personal retreat to say, what exactly am I trying to create out of this business? They need to go back and say, what was my driving force at the point where I started this business? What did I want to create initially? Because if they are able to create their vision again, right, and then it is clear, they can now bring a clear vision in front of the people that they lead. Without clear vision, there is absolutely nothing we are running towards. So, in solving the problem of being stuck, the first solution is to clarify your vision again as a business owner. Clarify your vision again. Clarify your vision again. The second thing is to then say, now that we know exactly what our vision is, what is the next step? Let us do an audit of our financials. How have we been managing our finances before now? Right, that's number one. Number one is clarify your vision. Number two is conduct a financial audit to know where your financial management system has broken down. Number two is to do your people audit. The people that I have in this business right now, are they skilled enough to move us to the future that we want? In some cases, you have the wrong people sitting in different roles. I was doing this analysis for a company one time, and I said we need to do your job evaluation and job analysis just to be able to ask ourselves, for all of these roles, right, who is the right person that should be in there relative to the goal and the vision that you have for this organization. By the time we finish, we discover that about 40% of the roles in that organization doesn't even need to exist in the first place, because they don't contribute directly to the strategic goals and the strategic objective that the business owner is trying to achieve. So number three is audit your people, so you to know exactly whether they fit or whether they don't fit. Number four thing that you then need to do is to audit your strategy. Audit your strategy. There is this common saying that we say that for you to continue to do something the same way and to expect a different kind of result is madness. A lot of businesses are doing the same thing over and over again, and they're expecting a different result. It cannot work, right? Now, when you sit down to audit your strategy, you need to understand that every strategy you put in place had a goal in mind. So if I say I want to start doing this in my business, it's not just for doing sake, it's because I want to achieve a particular goal. So when I audit my strategy, I'm asking myself, is this strategy producing the result I intended for it to produce at the point where I set it in motion? What that will do for you is that you're able to know, what should I start doing that I wasn't doing before? What was I doing before that I need to stop doing? Now, what I need to stop doing is what is not working, right? Then number three is, what am I doing currently that is working that I need to amplify? That if I amplify it, is going to improve the quality of what we do, right? So the next one, like I said, is audit your strategy. Number five is to audit your customer management system, right? Audit your customer management system. Now, what do I mean? How do we acquire customers? How do we fulfill their orders, or how do we fulfill whatever it is that they pay for? How do we ensure we don't lose customers? For example, in the last 1 year, how many customers has done business with you? How many of them has done business with you the second time? How many came the third time? By the time you sit down with your customer management system, you are able to see where it is broken. Now, after you have done all of these audits, you then move to the next point, which is to create SOPs, standard of operation, right? Or SOPs, structures and system. In that sense, you're saying that based on the audits that I have done, what do we need to structure? what do we need to standardize? You sit down and you create the SOPs that gives you standardization. Now, one of the things I always say to business owners is that there is no way you can scale a business that is not standardized. Imagine trying to build on a structure that does not have foundation. What's going to happen at the end of the day is that everything will come down crashing, right? So standardization is what precedes scalability, right? If you have not built a business that is sustainable, there is no way you can scale that business to the next level. So to put that in a summarized way, ma'am, would be number one is to reignite your vision as a business owner, right? And nobody can do that for you but yourself. Number two is to audit your business. And I mentioned some parts of the business that must be audited. You must audit your finance, audit your people, audit your customer management system, and everything in that regard. And then number three is to create the systems and the structures, that can help you standardize your business, and then from that point you can begin to scale, right? Now, number four thing that businesses need to do after we have standardized is then to begin to ask ourselves, how do we scale? How do we move to the next level? Because if you standardize and you are not moving to the next level, you are still going to remain on that level. I'm sure, most of us here, we know businesses that have remained on the same level, not because they are stuck, but because they are not thinking about how do we move to the next level, right? And again, what moves us to the next level will then be the quality of the goals that we are setting, right? The quality of, number one is the quality of the goal we are setting to scale now, will be the quality of the goal we are setting. Number two will be the quality of the learning and the information the business owner is exposing themselves to. Because if they are still operating at the same level of knowledge that they had when they started that business, they will forever function at that same level. So at that level, the business owner will need to go for, trainings, courses to further expand the level of their knowledge about the business that they are doing and how, to scale it to the next level, right? So, and that is how you begin to do it. Then number three will be to begin to hire the right people that can actually move the business to the next level. It is possible that you have excellent employees today, but maybe the best that they can offer you today is to help you manage the level that you are at. For you to be able to move the business to the next level, there may be a need for you to hire people. I once listened to one, MD speak, and he said that one of the things that he has done that really helped in scaling his business to the next level was that he hired people that were better than himself, and then he stepped out of their way, right? He hired people that were more experienced than himself. He hired people that had more expertise than himself, and then instead of micromanaging them, he stepped out of their way so that they can help him take the business to the next level. So those are some of the things I'm going to share in that regard, on how a business can get themselves unstuck and how they can move themselves to the next level in their business growth and enterprise development. Your audio is muted.
Okay, thank you. That's a fantastic, that's a powerful part there. And I'm sure all our business people are listening with keen interest. And all these points are very useful points that will make a lot of difference. Now, because of time, I will just ask you, what one piece of advice that you can give to someone on the verge of giving up? Like, some of these things, they've tried it and it's still not working, and they're about giving up. So what would that advice be? Just one word.
Okay, I think the advice that I'm going to give to anybody that's about the verge of giving up is that even though you have tried it before, it did not work, doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It is a fact that you don't know how to make it work yet. One of the things I do in my own business, that if I'm trying something that's not working, I step back to say, you know what, this thing has worked for some people. So it is proof positive that it works. If it's not working for me, then that means that I have not learned how to make it work. One thing that every business person needs to become is that they need to be given to learning. They need to become given to learning. They need to be given to learning. Like I always say, you cannot perform better than who you are. If you don't upskill yourself as a business person, your business cannot be upskilled, right? If you don't upskill yourself as a business person, your business cannot be upskilled. For some business owner, they understand product creation, but what they don't understand is marketing. For some, they understand marketing. What they don't understand is selling. For some, they understand selling. What they don't understand is people management. Now, what you need to do is to say that the fact that it's not working doesn't mean that it cannot work. It simply means that I don't know how to make it work. So let me go and learn how to make this thing work. Then I will come back and make it work. The people that we admire today, the people that we celebrate in business today, they are people that are constantly learning. They are constantly growing their knowledge base. They are constantly growing their own capacity because they recognize that the more I grow my capacity, the more I am able to grow my business. One of the things I say, and this is the final thing I'm going to say, everything that we involve ourselves in travels at our own speed. Your business will travel at your speed as a business owner. If you are on a fast lane, your business is going to be on a fast lane. If you are on a slow lane, your business will be on a slow lane, right? I remember, apologies for this, I remember about 3 years ago, I was working with a particular organization. And what we did was that we said, you know what, this thing that you want to move into, you don't have the skills and capacity for it. I enrolled the CEO of that organization in a 1 year coaching program. Guess what? By the end of that 1 year, the business grew by 600%. The business revenue grew by 600%. Why? Because the CEO of that business submitted himself to learning. He did not assume that I know it all already. Right. So if you are stuck today, I can almost tell you, if you are listening and you are stuck, I can almost tell you that the missing link is knowledge. If you pursue knowledge today, I can guarantee you that you will walk your way out of that, out of that position of being stuck, and your business will get to the point where it is being celebrated by all, and then you'll be happy that you took the plunge. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Well said, well said. As a parting shot on this very unique topic, what would you like to tell our audience as a parting shot?
There is no vision that you have that cannot be achieved. All that you need to do is to keep pursuing it. Your business ends at the point where your vision ends. If you keep expanding your vision, your business will keep expanding. Don't rest, don't wait, grow your vision, and then your business will follow.
Thank you very, very much. As a way of emphasis and recap from what our guests have told us, stagnation should not be taken as failure. We should look at what can we do to make things better. And sometimes it may not be the business that has problem. Leadership clarity is very key from all our guests have told us. Leadership has to have clarity. You have to know your vision. You may need to realign your vision to make sure that you get back on track. Then you need to diagnose in case if you are not very sure of what to do. You need to diagnose what exactly the problem is, so that you know where to direct your attention. And then vision must also involve. You cannot have a static vision, especially where you are having issue of business being stuck. You cannot have a static vision. It must evolve with reality, with what the current situation is. So that is another key point that I've gotten from what our guest has told us this afternoon. And then there's a need for reset. We need to reset as a matter of strategy. We cannot play to emotion. We cannot allow emotion to get the better part of us, because things are not working. We start thinking, oh, that's the end for us. So we make sure that we are strategic about our thinking. Then for us to grow, for us to scale, we require structure and discipline. That is very key. If our structure is not properly in place, we have to put it in place and then make sure that we apply discipline. It's not enough to put structure, but a structure that will work, that we will adhere to. That's what we should aim at. And then momentum is also built intentionally. We need to build momentum intentionally all the time, to be intentional in what we are doing. So thank you very much. You've done wonderfully well. And as we wrap up, here's something I also want us to remember. A stock business is not a dead business. Sometimes what feels like an ending is actually an invitation for us to evolve, to rethink, to realign, and to rebuild. Your vision may not be broken, it may simply need to be refined, refreshed, and reactivated. The power to restart is always in our hands. At this point, I would like to appreciate our online audience. Many people joined us while we are on this conversation. I got some names. Regular, we have Taiwo Ojo from Abuja, Dr. Asein from Abuja as well. Then Grace Amuka, I don't know, maybe from Lagos or from Abuja, I don't know. So they all joined us. There are some names I wasn't, because they used the email, I wasn't very clear of the exact name. Whichever one, both the ones I've mentioned and the ones I've not been able to mention, please, you are all recognized. I appreciate you for your time and your engagement. Today, my special appreciation goes to our guest, our resourceful guest who has given us so much idea and insight on this topic. So I want to appreciate highly Boluwatife David for doing what he knows how to do best, for sharing this great insight with us today. I appreciate you greatly, Bolu. Thank
Thank
you
you very
very
much.
much. Thanks for your time.
It's always a pleasure.
So today, for me, today's show has been awesome and inspiring, and I believe we have learned one or two new things from all that our guests have been able to point out to us. So my charge to our audience this evening is to please share with those that you think will require the same knowledge, or that this it will be useful to. Share this information with them, and tag someone who needs this message. And most importantly, do not fail to take action as appropriate to your business, your line of business, from all the insights that has been given to us. Once again, I would like to appreciate our special guest. He has done wonderfully well. We are proud of you. And I appreciate all our guests as well. Next time on the episode, we'll have another interesting topic that will be impactful, and we ask you to stay connected to that. Please, if you have found this show interesting, educative, value driven, remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Comfort Eyitayo. Once you have subscribed, please turn on the notification button and share our videos. Stay updated with information about our upcoming events, solutions, and offers on my Instagram account at Comfort Eyitayo, as well as my Facebook account at Comfort Eyitayo. I look forward to seeing you on our next conversation. And in the meantime, look at that business, don't write it off, see how you can revive and start on the path of growth. Thank you very much for joining us for today. God bless you.
Thank you very much for having me. Have a good evening, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Shile. Shile also joined us from Ibadan. Shile Akibowale. Thank you all.